Third time's the charm, I guess. Apparently I went through this and didn't record. So I was just thrown out of the school board meeting because my public comment addressing the board on character counts, since it's character counts week, I was thrown out because I dare read something that was publicly published because a certain member of the school board did not like what I said. I didn't name any names. I just read a news article. I mean, a guy read from the Bible a couple months ago. We had a local community member read from a book, and she said Nigger. She'd get thrown out. So here's what I said. This was the fully uncensored version. I did censor myself when reading some of these quotes. Going back to my time as a Souderton student, I remember when the character counts indoctrination began. It has been used to groom our children into being good model citizens for over 20 years in Souderton. The 6 pillars of character counts are trustworthiness, respect, responsibility, fairness, caring, and citizenship. Today's theme is honesty, and we all know how dishonest this board is. This board has shown that character only counts when it can be used as a tool of control over our children, that it doesn't apply to themselves as elected officials. You can't even hold yourselves to the very policy manual and laws attached to your position that you have the privilege of holding. Here is how some of you have shown us that character counts. You are all supported by individuals who want our children to be indoctrinated by a specific religion shoved into our schools. Great display of fairness. I can't wait till my kids have to recite Ezekiel 23:20. She lusted after lovers with genitals as large as donkeys and emissions like those of a horse. Although I'm not sure what that has to do with math. All of you are part of an organization that openly endorsed a dude who respects women so much that he said, and I quote, "I moved on her actually. I did try and fuck her. She was married. I moved on her like a bitch. I see her and she's now got big phony tits and everything." They also said that there were very fine people on both sides at a white nationalist rally with torches where people screamed, "Jews will not replace us," while a vehicle killed counter-protesters. But oddly enough, the very people supporting you seem to think that anyone who condemned these events are bad people. Weird. One of you has showed us care and trustworthiness when you made it into the news for the following. The woman told police that she grabbed the keys and started walking to the front door, attempting to leave the residence when blank grabbed her by her purse straps and ripped her backwards, forcing her to stay inside of the house against her will. She told police that blank grabbed her by the shoulders, pushed her against a wall across from the front door, and that she struck her head on the wall and fell to the floor. Pausing for a second for commentary here. I would like to note I did not name the individual who I was speaking of. What I was quoting was a news article about a specific individual who is currently sitting on the school board right now, who was involved in a domestic violence situation. Apparently he wasn't charged. Don't know how, but he wasn't charged, which is why he is still allowed to sit on the school board. Because otherwise he would not have been able to run. But I digress. Back to what I was saying. Let us not forget the citizenship displayed by a sitting member who once said, "He must be removed from the bench and jailed. Make him an example to all. Wish we could still hang people." Or the time they said she blew a lot of dudes. I used libtard instead of fuckwad. Same difference. Or this woman acts as if she's good looking or something. Someone by her mirror. Ew. And her body wasn't made for white people either. 5 of these individuals up here under the Keep Saudi Strong ticket ran on embodied character counts. contradicting themselves by stating in their vision that we will always work together to have and show compassion for those that are different from us. These folks have embodied this so well that they have voted on expelling students for displaying similar behavior tonight for the fourth or fifth time this school year and about a dozen that I've counted since January. Yes, Saturton School District, a true community where character counts. It counts so much that the very people sitting right here refuse to take responsibility and listen to the people who they serve. All of them, not just their donors and supporters. They refuse to take responsibility and condemn the state on this community. It only counts if you're not them. Shame on them. Something else I've also been trying to get them to do, they refuse to acknowledge the elephant in the room, which is that there's a sitting school director who said some of those things that I quoted. She blew a lot of dudes, and I'll name this one right now. That's Bill Formica, because he's been in all over the media because of it. I've been trying to get them to put this resolution forward to grow a pair of balls, essentially. And, I should take action like the Ole School Board did when one of their school directors didn't take down some Heil Hitler stuff that was on her house, which happened to face the school. All they have to do is censure him, and people might get a little quieter, because that's really all they can do. And that'd be great if they did. So this is the resolution I've been trying to get them to pass for a while. Whereas William Formica III is the Saturton Area School District Director appointed to fill a vacancy in June 2023 and duly elected in November 2023 to retain the seat until December 2027. Whereas on July 23, 2024, Mr. Formica responded to a post on Twitter about Vice President Kamala Harris asking what record, name one thing this chick has accomplished, stating that she blew a lot of dudes. Whereas on the numerous occasions Mr. Formica makes posts mocking and ridiculing teachers, including on November 22nd, 2022, where he said, "Why does everyone still gush over teachers? They have a great gig, can't be fired, only work 9 months out of the year, great pension, and no accountability for their performance. There are many jobs that are much worse." And again on February 19th, 2023, teachers need to stay in their lane. I don't want a perfect stranger that sees my kids 5 hours a week for 1 year spewing their morals, values, politurks, spelling, and ideology, again, bad spelling, on my children and grandchildren. Maybe they skipped that in your master's training. Whereas on April 1st, 2024, Mr. Formica on a post asking who was the worst First Lady, Jill Biden, Hillary Clinton, or Michelle Obama, to which he replied, Michelle Obama, a racist, full of hate, and a dude. Whereas Mr. Formica made further derogatory comments on June 3rd, 2024. In response to a photo of Michelle Obama asking, is Michelle Obama the worst First Lady ever in U.S. history? Yes or no? Responding, the ugliest, for sure. Whereas on February 21st, 2024, Mr. Formica made derogatory comments about the singer Lizzo, saying her body wasn't made for white people either. Whereas on July 14th, 2024, in response to a photo of Whoopi Goldberg captioned, I'm moving to Canada, Mr. Formica replied, wow, she got fat. Looks like Jabba the Hutt. Whereas on June 3rd, 2024, Mr. Formica replied to a post asking if Black Lives Matter and pride flags belong in the classroom, saying, absolutely, stop indoctrinating, he didn't spell it right, our kids. Whereas on May 17th, 2024, Mr. Formica, in response to, do you think Judge Endron is corrupt and should be arrested? He replied, absolutely corrupt. No one is that dumb. His egregious decisions were purposeful. He must be removed from the bench and jailed. Make him an example to all. Wish we could still hang people. Now, therefore, be it resolved that we, the undersigned SASD school board directors, condemn in the strongest possible terms all of the words and actions made by Mr. Formica. While Mr. Formica is a U.S. citizen and enjoys all the rights and privileges thereof, including the First Amendment to speak his mind in opinion, he is, as an elected official, not immune to the court of public opinion of his peers or constituents, nor the student he is tasked with protecting. In a community where character counts, which is built upon the 6 pillars taught to our own students for over 25 years of trustworthiness, respect, responsibility, fairness, caring, and citizenship, there is no place whatsoever for racism, homophobia, misogyny, or any form of bigotry. We, the undersigned Sourton Area School District Directors, hereby censure Mr. Formica, removing him from serving on all committees until such a time as he tenders his resignation or the end of his term expiring December 2027. I've made some minor changes over the last few months, but they refuse to even try. Yep. Go back on some notes from another meeting. I tried to kind of read some of these today, but again, they, silenced me because the attorney apparently is the school board director, not the people we elected. Let's see. Where is it? Oh no, it's on my tablet. This is what I wanted to say tonight as part of the agenda, but was denied because even though unfinished business is part of the agenda, and agenda item number 11 to be specific, I wasn't allowed to comment on that. Weird how this keeps happening. At the August committee meeting, you failed to hear us when we asked for time to address the disgusting behavior by Director Formica. We asked for a special meeting that, as allowed under Section 710.1A, and you failed to grant us this right. At the 8/29/2024 action meeting, the rights of myself and others were denied. The right time to be heard per the Sunshine Act, 710.1A, were explicitly violated. You denied the right of people to speak on the actions of Mr. Formica, citing they were not part of the agenda. This proved to be false, as he was allowed to address his comments during an agenda item. You contradicted yourselves. The solicitor at that time stated that you followed a modified Robert's Rules. A subsequent right to know which I filed that this is in fact false. I was referred to Policy Manual 006, which states that the parliamentary authority is Robert's Rules. The solicitor is not the person we elected to run this district. Stop cowering behind him and do what's right by the voters. I'm requesting at this time you do right these wrongs and grievances as I've outlined in the following manner. 1. That those who were denied the right to attend this meeting due to residency or lack of ID be granted access to this meeting so as long as the room capacity allows. Or you reschedule this meeting and relocate to a larger venue like the high school so that all who wish to attend can be heard and have the option to do so. 2. That the following changes in accordance with the Sunshine Act 712.1A through F and as allowed under Robert's Rules be made to the agenda. Allow those who are denied the right to be heard at the August action meeting during public comment be given a special place prior to any transaction, if business to be heard with this agenda. The resolution which I am attempted to present last month and had emailed earlier this week to be added and considered immediately at any point in the agenda before the action items are presented and addressed. This should be addressed as its own separate matter with a roll call vote. These changes are absolutely permitted under Section 712.1, Subsections E through F as cited thusly. Business arising during meetings if, during the conduct of a meeting, a resident or taxpayer brings a matter of agency that is not listed on the meeting agenda to the attention of the agency may take official action to refer the matter to staff, if applicable, for the purpose of researching the matter for inclusion on the agenda of a future meeting. Or, if the matter is de minimis in nature and does not involve expenditure of funds or entering into a contract or agreement, the agency may take official action on this matter. Subsection E is changes to the agenda. Upon majority of the vote of individuals present and voting during the conduct of a meeting, an agency may add a matter of agency business to the agenda. The reason for the changes to the agenda shall be announced at the meeting before any vote is conducted to make the changes to the agenda. The agency may subsequently take official action on the matter added to the agenda. The agency shall post the amended agenda on the agency's publicly accessible internet website if available, and at the agency's principal office location no later than the first business day following the meeting at which the agenda was changed. I will summarize F as stating that these changes must be noted within the minutes. If this was a student, teacher, or staff, they would be suspended, expelled, or terminated of employment for violating the code of conduct set in place by this board. Hold yourselves to a higher standard. There's also code of conduct policies which Mr. Formica also violated. But I digress. So yeah, that's about it for now.